So Mark, talk to us about management's risk assessment. How well, as you've looked at these, how well is management doing in not only documenting their risk assessment, but then going through and following up? Are the things that they put in place to manage risk actually happening? Is it effective? Are they reporting to the audit committee about what's working well, where they have opportunities for improvement?
Yeah. So to answer your question on how they document it, I would say it varies all over the board. As they go through the process of identifying all their risks, the volume issue kicks in. So it's like, how do I manage all this information? I mentioned the companies that are working with us, they tell us still today the way they're managing that information is still with Microsoft Office products, occasionally tapping into an ERP system. Mm-hmm. But mostly it's just to archive the risk information. And so I've seen big spreadsheets where they've got all these columns of themes, and the risks they've identified could be 100 or more, and they're like 2 words, and you're like, okay, how do I understand what this is? And then the other side of it is these detailed spreadsheets. What we've heard several times is they, particularly in the earlier phases of really trying to get a more structured process, they'll say, by the time we got through the process of identifying, getting management to think about the big risk issues, prioritizing those, we got our short list of risk, we were exhausted, and we didn't carry it through to understand the response. So it's sort of what we talked about on the audit side is a challenge on the management side of they get an inventory of their risk. I would say where they're still challenged is really mapping to the response. And so a lot of them are trying to do things about that. So they're assigning risk owners among the management team to own certain categories of risk. One of their tasks is to now go and get an inventory of, okay, what are we currently doing to manage this risk? And then let's evaluate its effectiveness, because we may discover on the management side, what we think is going to treat that risk isn't going to do it, because I really haven't thought through the risk. So they're beginning now to document that response. Mm-hmm. A lot of your more advanced ones are creating what they call risk profiles, where they're doing a risk profile for broader risk themes that then goes to the board. It's a part of the advanced packet going to boards where they'll take top 10 themes. That risk profile will describe the risk, describe the response, the effectiveness of that response. It's a one-pager with the ability to click and go a lot deeper. Mm-hmm. But I think they're really trying to advance when they present that risk information to a board to give them the response. And then they're getting the risk owner to come to board meetings and walk through that profile. And that's when they can really challenge them on the response side. So.
Great. So it sounds like they've made progress, but there's still a long way to go on the management side as well.
Excel remains the most effective tool for purposes it was never designed to achieve.
Yeah.